Hate to break it to you, you're not strong enough. Did you know that our muscle tends to peak in our 30s, and as we continue to get older, there's just an age-related decline? That's called sarcopenia. And I'm here to tell you that it affects roughly half of the population, especially women. So whether it's for weight loss or if you're looking to prevent osteopenia or osteoporosis, it is very important that you have adequate muscle and adequate muscle strength. We're not strong enough. Individually, collectively, you name it. We are just not strong enough. And this is important because as you get older, with sarcopenia and other risk factors, you're increasing your risk of falling. And if you're not aware, falls are a leading cause of injury-related deaths in adults. It's very problematic. The good news is there are things that you can do to help fix that, or at least help reduce that risk. Number one is ensuring that you have adequate protein intake, which as you get older, that becomes more and more important that your protein intake increase. Because if you want to be honest, most of us do not consume adequate protein. Typically speaking, the traditional American diet, quote unquote, carb heavy, filled with carbs and fat tends to be the majority of what's on your plate for most meals. And protein tends to not be as important overall. But how much is enough protein? You'll see numbers like 0.8 kilograms per pound of body weight, all the way up to 1.7 kilograms per pound of body weight, depending on your activity level, what you do for your physical activity, how active you are, etc. For the vast majority of you, just do a macro split. 40%, 30%, 30%, aka 40, 30, 30. What that means is the amount of calories you eat per day, you take 40% of those calories, you consume them as carbs, 30% of those calories, you consume it as protein, and 30% of those calories, you consume it as fat. And obviously there is some math involved that I can spare you the math, or I can tell you. If you're that interested, let me know in the comment section below and I can show you the math. But essentially, if you're eating anywhere between 1,200 to 2,000 calories, the 40, 30, 30 looks like what you're seeing here, essentially. And obviously, if you increase your calories, the 40, 30, 30 still applies. If you eat 40, 30, 30, I can guarantee you that you're having adequate protein to help slow down and reduce your risk of developing sarcopenia or sarcopenic obesity. And then obviously you want to make sure that you're exercising, specifically strength training, in conjunction with having adequate protein. That way you can reduce the chances of you not having enough muscle as you get older in general, and just being overall in a better shape, being overall healthier as well. You definitely want to make that a priority. Why is all this important? Like I said earlier in the video, as we get older, we need more protein to help fight or prevent sarcopenia. And by doing that, having adequate protein as well as strength training, you reduce your risk of falling. Based off of the statistics, essentially every second of every day, an older adult is falling in America. And if you want to sort of broaden that out, 1 out of every 4 adults will fall this year. That's a lot of people. And with falling comes very potentially catastrophic outcomes. So how can we incorporate more protein in our diet? It really does not have to be very complicated. There are a couple of things you want to consider incorporating into your daily eating routine. Things like Greek yogurt, eggs. More about eggs in a separate video, because I know what you're thinking. Protein powders, there's a wide variety of them. Ones that can sort of address different preferences, less ingredients, more ingredients, dairy-free, plant-based, you name it. There's a wide array of protein powder options. Find one that's right with you. Fish, like tuna, nuts and seeds, plant-based proteins, such as beans, lentils, as well as chickpeas. You can also consider quinoa as well. And one thing you do not want to neglect are your micronutrients. And the best source of those are vegetables, which are very, very, very important as part of a balanced diet. My final piece of advice for the women out there that are concerned, cautious about strength training: genetics aside, strength training will not cause you to end up looking like Mr. Olympia. I repeat, strength training will not cause you to look like Mr. Olympia. So continue walking, continue doing the cardio. However, strength training needs to become more of a priority, as well as ensuring that you have adequate protein in your diet. Thank you again for stopping by on my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.